Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Really excited to bring you this review on two incredible figures by Nanmu. It's two raptors, articulated this time. Usually they're just statues, but these are fully articulated raptor figures based on how they looked in Jurassic Park 3. Hope you enjoy this review. If you do, drop a like on the video for me, it helps out the channel. And subscribe if you haven't done already. And follow me on Instagram at DeanKnight333. Then you got a little flap here with the little Velcro tag. You got the figure inside. The tails need to be attached. You can see at the back there. But the level of details, I saw the review on Andy's dinosaur reviews on YouTube. I couldn't believe it. And they're bigger than I thought they would be as well. Not that much bigger, but bigger than I thought. So really looking forward to getting these out of the box. Let's do that now. Just briefly show you, I do have quite a bit of their work when it comes to Nanmu. So it's all reviewed on the channel, all of these incredible pieces. But these are all statues. So this is the first time we have a fully articulated Nanmu figure. That's a fantastic piece there. That's the older Nanmu statue based on the White Queen, but that does not move. So basically we have an action figure of this now, slightly bigger and fully articulated. And this is the older Nanmu Blood Knight statue, but now we have him slightly bigger and fully articulated, which I still like having this statue version as well. It's totally seamless and it's going to be very cool for my upcoming dinosaur photography special. Here they are, both out of the packaging, and they look incredible. Can you imagine having these when we were growing up when the original trilogy was first, being released? I remember Jurassic Park 3, I really love those designs. Some of the best raptor work we've ever seen in any of the Jurassic Park movies. The articulation, the sculpt, the paintwork, the realism, the accuracy, it's absolutely incredible. And it looks like Nanmu are going to continue doing the Smart series of dinosaurs that are fully articulated. I can't wait to see, hopefully, a Jurassic Park Rexy T-Rex. That would be the one that I would really be looking forward to. And the original raptors as well, from Jurassic Park 1 and 2. Posable Spinosaurus, forget about it. Ooh, posable Indoraptor, yes please. The White Queen here is coming in at about 6.5 inches tall. And is about 14 inches long from the tip of the tail to the tip of the snout. And you can see where I'm missing the white stripe there on the neck. In the middle section is just not there. So I'll have to paint that myself. It won't be a pure white from the looks of things, like a bit of white paint with some, maybe just the slightest dash of brown mixed in just to off-white it a little bit. We'll see. I'll do some test runs. Yeah, that's a shame. I mean, you got some pretty stark transitions of color, like the hands there transitioning to the wrist. At the beginning of the forearm there, it's a pretty stark transition from red to yellow. But yeah, I'd say you'd be better off with the White Queen here. She seems to have a better transition from color to color. But you gotta have them both really. But the eye on this one is just terrifying. A lot of the Nanmu statues are 1/35 scale. I'm not sure what scale these raptors are, but this is what it looks like next to a NECA Ultimate Ash from the Evil Dead TV show. That doesn't seem too far off. I think maybe the human would be a little bit bigger than this, possibly. But I think they scale up nicely with NECA figures. If that's what your plans are, it wouldn't look too weird. And then you can start doing fun stuff like this where Ash is getting attacked by two raptors, and because they're so posable, I mean, you could just go all day with this. Poor old Ash. Bit off a little bit more than he could chew here. It's not good. unfortunately I seem to be getting some paint chips coming off on the jointed areas just above the, well, I guess the ankle area would be where that joint is. But really good articulation, but unfortunately it does seem to be damaging the paint job the more I do. So I'd have to do a few corrections on this piece and then seal it and hope that the paint job holds up. I'm not going to be moving it too much once the review's done, but I was hoping to bring you some cool action poses, but the more I do, the worse the chipping gets. So you'd have to bear that in mind, folks. And you can see just on the front of the ankle there, the paint's chipped away on the joint. So I'll have to paint that again and seal it and hope it doesn't get any worse. I have literally seen bits of paint flaking off it as I handle it, kind of dropping down to the desk. So won't be a 10 out of 10, but still, I mean, you got to admire the effort here. I mean, this is their first time doing an articulated figure, and they seem to come out pretty quickly. I remember seeing them on Instagram saying they were planning on doing this and the prototypes and stuff, and then it was just out. Maybe later batches they'll solid up the sealing on the paint job a little bit. Definitely needs to be done. I've definitely got some early, I guess batch 1 versions here, but I'll fix them up as best I can. I'm not angry at the company though at all, because they've clearly tried so hard and have successfully achieved the best articulated Jurassic Park raptors I've ever seen. Right, now here's the White Queen turning on the rotating base. Looks fantastic. It's a bit fiddly. It's not easy to get it to stand up like this, but you can do it. I don't think I'd trust it on the shelf without the stand, so I'm going to have to use those that they provided with the pieces. But what a great looking figure. Very, very satisfying. I love the eyes on this one. Super creepy. Really good proportions. And even the big sickle claw on the foot, that moves separately as well. It's all articulated. Let's get a close-up look at the White Queen head sculpt. I'll open the mouth for you in a moment. I mean, the joint transitions, they sure as hell are visible, but what are you going to do? I mean, if you want articulated raptors and also have them looking movie accurate and realistic, I think they've done a good job here. I think the joints have been very well thought out. And there you go with the mouth open. I think I heard someone say the tongue moves as well, but I couldn't get my finger in there. It's too small. But I'll take their word for it. That would be pretty sick if you could. I think you can just lift the tongue up ever so slightly. Great work on the teeth. Absolutely terrifying. Not a good way to go. Although it'd probably be pretty quick. I'd take this over a great white shark attack or something like that any day. Fearsome creatures. And just got the view from the front. You can see the detail on the tongue there, and the wet look in the gum area. Ooh, details. Awesome details. And here's the Blood Knight on the rotating base. I managed to get him to stand up after about 10 minutes of fiddling around with the joints, and as I did so, more and more paint was chipping away from those joint areas. So just bear that in mind. Hopefully it'll be fixed out with future batches. I'm sure Nanmu will make improvements. Absolutely awesome looking figure though, no doubt about it. I love this. I mean, the sculpt and paint and the finish on it it's more convincing to me than some of those expensive bigger statues that you can get. I mean, yeah, you can see the joints on it, but the actual sculpt and the paintwork, it looks so real and so accurate. It really is impressive. And there's the articulated figure next to the older Nanmu statue, which is smaller and doesn't have the little quill things on the top of the head like the action figure does. He doesn't have those, but they're both very accurate in their sculpt and paint. Obviously, this being a statue, there's no visible joints, so that's nice for photography. But the paint is more vibrant and sculpt is more sharp. Everything's just a bit more HD on the action figure version, and he's bigger. And here's the action figure on the right and the older statue on the left. I tried to put them in a similar pose, not exactly the same, but just to give you the decent size comparison. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up the review and I will give you my final thoughts. I'm not really feeling too keen on doing score out of 10 anymore, folks. I have my reasons. It just feels a bit old hat now, so I think I'll just give you my final thoughts. I was really looking forward to these arriving. I couldn't wait to bring you this review, but I'll be honest, it has not been a fun review to film. Working with the figures is not fun for me personally. Getting them just simply standing with the feet flat on the surface and looking natural took a long time and a lot of fiddling around. And even with the support stand they give you, it can get a little bit fiddly with these, but there's no denying that they look incredible. I mean, as far as the looks of the figures go, they're 10 out of 10s, but functionality, yeah, there's some more R&D needed on these, but you know, just things like I mentioned before, trying to pose the figure, and every time I move a joint some paint chips away and drops to the surface they're standing on. I saw that happen about 6 times when I was working with them. Obviously I've got my issue on the other side of the neck on the Blood King here. There's a missing stripe, so I'll have to fix that myself, but the articulation does allow you to do some really nice subtle little things. I mean, this one is just standing here, but I've got his head tilted slightly like he's just heard something and he's listening. And you can really, that comes across even in the way his eye looks. He looks like he's focused. He's just stopped and listened to a noise and he's homing in on it before he goes in for the kill. Absolutely gorgeous looking pieces, but honestly not fun to work with, and don't let anyone tell you they are, because I found it you know, quite annoying at times to work with these. But then it is what it is. They're raptors, you know, they're not humans standing upright on 2 legs. We're used to working with articulation on things like that. I'm not used to working with articulation on a creature like this, so it takes a bit of getting used to. But I'm not going to take anything away from Nanmu for their incredible efforts here, and they really have gone to great lengths to bring you the best articulated raptors you can get, and they technically are that. But there's a couple of little paint issues that need to be worked out, and working with the figures can be quite awkward at times, but overall incredible looking pieces. So I do recommend them, but just take note of the things I've mentioned in the review. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Help out the channel by dropping a like on the video. And check me out on Instagram at DeanKnight333. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.